Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. My name's Mike Amos, hoping that you're doing well today, wherever you are here in Alabama or across the country on Facebook this morning. We appreciate you being a part of our show. Of course, through the efforts of Troy Cable Vision. And of course, we hope that everybody's doing well this morning on a Tuesday, August the 11th, as we start a move on into August and the possibilities of school starts. We do not have any confirmed starting days right now. I know this, that there is talk and rumored that Detroit City Schools will move their start back a few days. In fact, I've heard as far back as September the August the 24th. So if that's the case, that'll be sometime not this week, but next week, and we'll get started with those classes. And of course, a lot of things going on right now about high school football, and we're going to talk to you about that today. Pike County and Goshen will play only region-only games, which is a sort of a shock to me here, as their schedule will be reduced quite a bit just to play region games, and then hopefully they'll qualify for the playoffs doing that. Hopefully that will be the case, and we're going to read into it this morning. I'm waiting for Mike Amos to join us from his friendly confines of Grayton Beach, Florida. Of course, it is a beautiful day outside, and they expect to be hot again. And I mean, I'm talking about real hot. And if you've got outdoor plans, please do it in the AM part of the day, because it's going to really be a scorcher later on. So if you got to do yard work, or you're going to go play golf or going fishing, I recommend, if you don't want to be scorching hot, you better go this morning. Citing safety concerns on the COVID-19, Pike County Superintendent Dr. Mark Brazil announced Monday that county schools, Goshen and Pike County, will play only region games in athletics this fall. That not only means football, but other sports like volleyball, and I don't know if that includes basketball or not, but we'll read into it today. The Goshen and Pike County will play only region games in athletics this fall, and that and then the fan capacity, I don't know how they're going to do this, but it will be reduced 50% for home games. So, and I'm sure that'll be a priority group of people, such as your players and your band and your cheerleaders and people like that. Their parents would I would think would have top billing here. Brazil, who announced the plan during the Pike County School Board meeting on Monday night, said he consulted with athletic directors, head coaches, and band directors in coming up with the plan last week. And we're looking at playing a region-only schedule. Again, Brazil said. Also, we are looking at restricting band, cheerleading, and traveling to away games, and looking at stadium capacity to 50% for home games. And of course, it seemed like if they would keep them at distance, at the regulation distance, it seemed like they could play. Everybody could come in the stadium, but evidently that is quite a hard thing to do. The Alabama High School Athletic Association mandates that we be equal with tickets and with visitors, so it will be 50% of the visiting side and 50% of the home side. And of course, it's news that is not good as far as football goes. And let's get read into this. 50% of the capacity also applies to volleyball and home matches in the gym. The superintendent said the volleyball capacity probably won't be too much of a problem, but the football capacity will be tricky since the visiting side is in a stadium is generally smaller than a home side. But again, it's something that we'll look at, and I hope to be able to go over the schedule of region-only games for Pike County and Goshen. And of course, the games against Arrington and Hopeville, and the season's first games, and then from August the 21st and 28th, mid-season games at Luverne, and will not be played. It doesn't look like. So we'll check on that as we continue with this information this morning. We're waiting for Mike Amos from Grayton Beach to call in, and Bill Rice Jr. is also on the way, and we'll be looking forward to seeing him later on the show. Of course, a lot going on at Troy University. Of course, as we spoke yesterday, their classes start on Wednesday, and I don't know how much of that will be distance learning, or will that be class involvement. And we'll try to. I would think that it would be, they'll try to run it like the regular school year if they can. And of course, football is a question right now. Of course, if you rode by there this morning or yesterday afternoon, they were all over the field. About over 100 players reported for practice on Friday, and they were actually working out prior to that, and still they're working on the schedule. A rumor, boy, this would be something if we could get it done. A rumor out there is we're talking to BYU, Brigham Young, and wouldn't that be something to play Brigham Young? But then of course, I don't know if it's official yet, but Troy has added 2 additional games with Middle Tennessee State. They'll play Middle Tennessee State on the 19th of October, and then play them again on the 15th. I want to say the 15th of November. So we're going to play them twice at their place to begin with on the 19th of September, and then at our place right here in Troy on the I want to say the 16th, 15th or 16th, one of those days in November. So right now the scheduling for Troy looks pretty good. They'll play a conference schedule of 8 teams, and then they've added 2 more teams in Middle Tennessee, and they can add 2 more if they want to, and I'm sure they're talking to some 1AA teams and so forth. So right now football is on the go in Troy. Now we haven't seen anything yet from the Sun Belt Conference. So far it's go for football, and we'll just have to see. The SEC the same way. Alabama and Auburn will play a conference only schedule, and the Big Ten is threatening to not play football this fall. But I'm wondering when all these big money folks get behind it, if that'll be the case, because I can't see Ohio State or Michigan or any of those big schools in the Big Ten would give up football for a year. The key, and should be, and hopefully it's the case, is that we'll be very conscious of this, what's happening with this virus, and if it's a lot of folks coming down with it because of football, they are even basketball later on. There's a good chance that they might shut it down. But right now we go. This weekend at 6 o'clock from Veterans Memorial Stadium, they'll have it outside this year for the first time ever, the Troy University football night. The big $10,000 drawdown is this Saturday night at the stadium. You can buy your tickets by contacting Judy Morgan at the at the athletic department here at Troy University, or you can buy them at the door. But if you want a ticket on the drawdown, they're $125, and they're on sale right now by calling Judy Morgan, or you can go by Raymond Style Shop on South Grundy Street. He's selling tickets, and there are numerous other outlets. It's always a lot of fun, a lot of good fellowship, and they'll have tables and chairs out on the field, and hopefully rain will not have an effect on it. I think I see a face in the to my left, and it looks like it's coming from let's see, Grayton Beach, Florida. Is that right? Where are you calling from? Hello. Mike, have we got you?
Yeah, I'm on.
Tell us about what's going on, brother.
Well, I mean, I think Big Ten's supposed to vote today as far as deciding to play football or not. And then the Mountain West canceled their fall football sports, football, and then all the other fall sports yesterday. So it's another Division I conference that's not playing to go along with the MAC. After that, I mean, the SEC acts like they still want to play. ACC acts like they want to play. Big 12 wants to play. I would imagine the Pac-12 will probably follow suit and do whatever the Big Ten did, because they've got so many players trying to revolt.
And
and wanting to get health insurance, and I mean, apparently there's like a real scary heart condition associated with COVID that they found in some of the players as well. That's been leading to a lot of this recent stuff as well. So I don't know what's going to happen, but Scott Frost yesterday, the Nebraska coach, said, and you got to give him credit for this, he said that Nebraska would play as an independent this year, even if the Big 12, the Big 10 decided not to play.
Yeah, and I think a lot of them might do that. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it's just if they have the teams to play, that's what it would come down to, is if they could find enough games, that brings a lot of independence back into play then, if some of these other conferences won't play. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Kind of feel like they're jumping the gun a little bit. I mean, cases yesterday were 45,000. I think death toll was around 485, and this was like right at the deadline. So
that was nationally, is that right? 485.
Yeah, that was nationally.
Yeah.
In the United States.
There's still a lot of people dying, though, man.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of people, but you got to think about, when this was really bad, it was 2,500 today, and the highest I'd ever seen was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it was 70,000 cases a day.
Yeah. The jamboree with Charles Henderson High School has been canceled. The superintendent has jumped in here, Mike, and has stopped football in the high school ranks to just a conference schedule. They're going to play a regional schedule.
To an area schedule?
Yeah, area schedule. In fact, looking at it, it says Pike County, meanwhile, loses a home jamboree on August the 21st with Charles Henderson. They're open on, we're looking at Pike County, where they're open on the 28th. Then they play at Beulah, which is a region game. They play Dadeville on the 11th as a region game. Trinity at Trinity of Montgomery is a regional game. Then an open game on the 25th. Then they play Catholic of Montgomery, which is a regional game. Goshen is a regional game on October the 9th. Childersburg is a regional game, and Reeltown. So, really,
how many games? How many games is that?
I don't know. Yeah, it surprised me. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's right. Only 7 games, but.
So wait a minute. Which superintendent? Brazil did this?
Yeah, and he did it for Goshen and Pike County High School will be affected.
Charles Henderson's not affected. Just Pike County schools.
No, just Pike County schools. And I'm looking at their.
But when do they plan on start playing then?
They plan on start playing. It looks like on September the 4th. It looks like Goshen and Pike County will start on September 4th. We'll play a region schedule. So they really don't lose.
He did this. He did this even though the Alabama High School Athletic Association is granting a full season.
I think that's the case.
He just did this on his own. Okay.
Yeah. It's a big article.
I know certain schools in North Alabama were shutting down the first 2 weeks to basically start the season later and trying to make up those games or even forfeiting some of those games.
Goshen's playing a 3A schedule this year, and they're in the same region with Pike County.
Yeah, I knew that.
I think that's the case. Wait a minute.
You would think that would be the case.
All right, yeah, here we go. Goshen's non-conference, region schedule has them playing at Trinity on September the 4th, at Childersburg on September the 11th. This is a 3A schedule. They're now 3A. Reeltown, a tough Reeltown team, in Goshen on September the 18th. Then open date on the 25th. October the 2nd is placed at Dadeville. Boy, what a schedule. On October the 9th, they play at home against Pike County at Goshen. All right, on October the 16th at Beulah. And then they finish the regular season on October the 23rd against Montgomery Catholic. Every one of those teams can beat Goshen, Mike. That's that tough a schedule. And
they're playing a lot of teams that can recruit as well.
And looking at
those Montgomery schools, definitely have gotten a lot better. It seems like lately.
Yeah, and I think Pike County schedule's pretty strong. They played. Again, we'll run through that again. September the 4th at Beulah. September the 11th, play at home against Dadeville, which is a good program. On September 18th, they play at Trinity. Open date on the 25th. On October the 2nd, they play Montgomery Catholic, which is a very good team, at Brundage. Then on October the 9th, they play at Goshen. October the 16th at Childersburg. And then October the 23rd, they play Reeltown. Pretty tough schedule for both of them, but that is it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games that they'll play during the regular season. Now, how they do and how they're going to do the playoffs, I just do not know, because I reckon they'll do it by doing it by region, Mike. They'll go to the playoffs by region.
4 teams make it to the playoffs, so
that's right.
I'm sure that won't be a situation. Well, I know that was a tough decision. I'm sure that he met with the coaches, and Brazil's been doing it a long time. There's nobody that's been doing it longer.
Well, let me tell you something.
What he does.
I know him, and I have tremendous respect for him, and he's doing it in the best interest of all the.
When it's all said and done, I feel like. Just like Scott Frost said, and all these other coaches and all these players have said, these players are safer going to practice and being around coaches, especially college programs where your whole day is pretty much spent.
Yeah.
At the athletic facilities. You start in the morning probably watching film. After that, you may be working out. Then you're going to go have lunch. You're basically. Your whole life is football during football season, especially in Division I and an SEC program and any other Power 5, including Troy.
Yeah.
Division I program. So I mean, all day you're doing the right things, being around all these coaches and trainers and staff and medical people. You know, basically, if these kids go back and start going to classes, start going to bars again, fraternity houses, or go home,
Yeah.
There's a lot better chance you're going to catch the virus outside of a basically secured area like they have right now. And that's what a lot of those players, you know, they basically have started, you know, kind of a unity group. And Trevor Lawrence, Najee Harris, all these great players throughout the country, Justin Fields, they want to play.
Yeah, you're right.
When you have players, these big name players coming out saying they want to play and they feel like they're safe, you know, that's something these athletic directors and chancellors and presidents have got to look at.
Yeah. Of course, yeah, I'm sure. Well, to me, let me just say this. These are 7 good games that they'll be playing, and then hopefully they'll get in the top 4 of the region here and make the playoffs. So they still got a chance to play 4 more after that. That'll be 11 games if they made it all the way to the championship. But it looks like a pretty good chance to play 9 or 10 games this year.
Well, you know the history of Pike County or Charles Henderson Robbery. I mean, Brundage, Troy. Before that, I mean, when do you think this last time this game wasn't played?
Yeah. Let me tell you this.
How many years do you think it's been since they hadn't played each other?
It's been a long year, probably 30 years, probably.
I mean, I would say I graduated in '94. So that would be at least 26 years. I know for sure they play every year.
Let me give you a little deal here. You know, you look. We've gone over these schedules, and like we said, Pike County High School, who had a tremendous season last year, Mike, ran the table until they got to the playoffs. But let me tell you this. You know, the 2 teams that they're gonna, the 3 teams they're gonna miss playing. Hear this. They're going to miss playing Charles Henderson in the Jamboree, and they're going to miss playing a home game against Carroll of Ozark, and then a road game at Hillcrest of Evergreen. All 3 of those games they could very well lose. I mean, those are 3 good programs. They could very well.
Charles Henderson game doesn't count.
Oh, I know it doesn't count, but still, the 3 games that they will not play, Pike County. Evergreen is a strong program now, Mike. On August 28th.
Pike County was only going to play 9 games anyway.
That's right. They were going to play 9 games, and evidently that's what Goshen was going to do. Let's see here.
Evergreen won a state championship a few years ago. A lot of those great players left, and also let's not forget who their defensive coordinator was, one of the best coaches
that's right.
ever to come through Charles Henderson High School, Mike Dean.
Yeah, no question about it. But then they're also giving up a home game against Carroll Ozark, which Carroll Ozark is a 5A program and a good one. So, this works out, I think.
Yeah, Carroll's got a brand new coach. Coach McDonald left, so they have a new coach down there.
Yeah, I know it. And also Pike County has that strong schedule. They're going to play 7 games, and if they can make the playoffs, they'll be. I don't think this is going to affect them much. I think maybe it's a good thing to move it back to September 4th.
In the long run, as long as they do what they need to do in the area, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
And, I'll be honest, Coach Holland might like it because he never has a lot of players. I mean, if he has 20, 25 players, that's usually the norm. And maybe some of these guys could stay a little bit more healthy, not playing as many games.
Exactly.
Better in the playoffs.
No question about it. And taking a look at this, the games that Goshen will lose, of course, a big game against Luverne that they'll lose, and I was trying to find out where the other one was, and I'll find that in a minute.
Luverne has a new coach as well.
Yeah, I know it, and we'll be talking to him pretty soon on our show. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, a lot going on.
You could do a Zoom coaches show.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, this show is brought to you by Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass. Right now, Jason Gregory is putting all those wonderful cars and trucks at a rock-bottom price. So remember, nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody, I guarantee you. And drop by and see them today and tell them I sent you, and they'll take another chunk off that price. And We appreciate
How
them so much.
How much do you get it saying I know Mike Amos? You get another 5% off?
Well, yeah, that's right. If you tell them, I don't know about that, but ladies and gentlemen, of course.
What if they said? Oh, well, good. We'll take a quarter off.
Yeah. But high school football looks like it's really in pretty good shape. I think they can live through this. I don't like the way they're doing the fans at all. I can't understand it. You know, Mike, they're cutting the fans down 50% on both sides. How do you do that? I reckon you have to have tickets to the game, evidently.
Well, I mean, when it's all said and done, I mean, if they're having any fans, I would be excited about that.
Yeah, exactly.
I might go watch the South Walton Seahawks.
The South Walton Seahawks, no question about it.
Man.
Mike, of course, we're not. Football is a great sport, and it means so much to the total environment of the school, not only at the high school level, but at the college level. And
I mean, the way I look at football is the three most important things in my life are God, my family, and football. So it ranks pretty high up there.
And then as marching bands go, you got Troy's football team and Troy's band sitting right here, and it's going to.
I tell you what. I can tell you a funny story. Last night, there's a reason I got on a little late this morning. My little 2-year-old loves her mama so much that she wants to sleep in bed with us every night, and she basically gets out of bed and is bawling, crying, wanting to get in our bed. So that went on throughout the night, and I guess my wife, while I'm asleep the whole time, keeps on taking her back to her bed. And then before I know, she's just bawling, crying again. I finally just said, all right, Melly, you get in the bed with Mom, and I'll go sleep in your bed. So I slept in her little bed last night. And Mary Prater was in the other bed next to me. I'm sure when Mary Prater woke up this morning, she probably woke up to me snoring. So, that's kind of what you get in raising little ones.
Well, I took care of.
Every once in a while, you just have to cave in.
Well, late yesterday afternoon, about 4:30, I took care of a little birthday gift for her this weekend. Tell her I'm coming down there, and that Mikey is bringing a birthday present.
Yeah, she's gonna be excited. I've got double birthdays. I've got my wife's on the 16th, and I've got my oldest girl, Mary Prater's, turning 4 on the 19th. So we got a lot of birthdays coming up.
Of course, I don't know if all the schools are going to do this, what Pike County's doing, and what Goshen's doing, or what Dr. Mark Brazil, the Pike County Board of Education is doing. I think makes sense, and it's going to be a tough schedule, and what they need to do right now is win at least 4 region games and to get in the playoffs.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if more 2A schools and 1A schools in the area try to do a similar thing.
I was looking at, and of course, really what I'm concerned about also is.
I guess you got to have approval from the Alabama High School Athletic Association to forfeit those games or cancel those games. Now, how that works on your schedule, I don't know if that counts as forfeits.
I don't know. You're right.
To play or what?
Yeah, you're exactly right. You've got to consider that, no question about it. And
so that would be something interesting to read. No coach wants to have 2 losses put on his record, but I guess during this time it's just part of the deal. Yeah. It almost seems like they would have to go along with those other schools, and those other schools would agree to all areas as well.
Well, I don't know. Maybe that is the case. We're trying to find more information.
Yeah, we might need to try to get I know you could probably get Bard on today, probably.
I'm gonna try to get Johnny Williams on the phone too, and to find out what kind of predicament he's in. Since the MAC conference.
I mean, now that the MAC is one of the teams that played in his bowl game. Yeah, that's
right.
Huge.
It's exactly right, and plays in both his bowl games, I think. Now, does he play in the?
Is the MAC's in the Myrtle Beach Bowl?
I think they are. I'm not sure. We're gonna call him today. In fact, we might call him right now in a few moments and see if we can get some information. He works for ESPN, so he's not able to give us all the information. But Johnny works for ESPN and did a great job with them especially putting on these bowl games in Montgomery and now in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Mike Amos is on the phone with us, and if you'd like to call in,
I'm on the Zoom with you.
On the Zoom, yeah, you did good hair job today, Mike. And
I have to put my contacts on because I can't see the screen. If I wear my glasses, it's gonna glare. But this is big news right here. 3-time reigning state football champ suspends practice. UMS Rice, which is coached by Terry Curtis, the legendary coach, has suspended football practice until August 17th after one of the student athletes tested positive for coronavirus. So, I mean, they're shutting everything down for one player.
Oh, boy. You can't – I don't believe you can do that, and be able to have a program. And
well, I mean, it's one of those type things you would think that I guess if that guy was around the whole team or a certain group of guys, I mean, that would wipe out. Maybe your offensive side of the ball would have to quarantine, or defensive side of the ball, maybe that is the way you have to do it.
And don't you know that these folks in the MAC now, this is not completely over with yet. I bet these fans are going nuts right now. The MAC conference, Mid America.
I read yesterday that Kent State lost $5 million for them canceling.
Well, Coach Saban will bail them out. He'll bail them out. He'll play them, and they'll get the money back.
Well, they were playing Alabama, yeah.
But what we're talking about this morning, ladies and gentlemen, that hit the fire is Goshen High School and Pike County High School has reduced their schedule, which looks pretty good. I think it looks like a pretty good deal. Of course, now volleyball and soccer and some of these other sports are also included in this kind of schedule, where they play only the regional games. And I know one non-regional game was Luverne, Mike, and they won't play them. I'm sure Luverne and Pike County wanted to play that game, but will not be able to do it.
Looks like the Pac-12 is going to meet today as well and try to figure out they're expected to vote how to proceed with football, the rest of the fall sports as well.
The Pac-12 is Southern Cal and that bunch. I could see them giving up football.
SEC is digging in their heels, at least for now, and despite what the Big Ten and Pac-12 or anybody else decides about the 2020 college football season.
And then some people might not want to.
What you'll have here is if you could have 3 Power Fives go together and say, we're going to do this regardless. And I think that would probably be the Big 12, the SEC, and the ACC.
And that's scary, yeah.
I would think, and then you would have other schools like Ohio State, Nebraska, so they play as an independent. Then you would have the universities make the call. You'd have the universities and these athletic directors say, hey, we want to play as an independent. But then they would have to scramble to find a schedule because it kind of wouldn't be fair to the SEC and the ACC and the Big 12 because they wouldn't be playing near the amount of tough games that those other schools would play. So I don't know if they would say, hey, if your conference doesn't agree and y'all shut things down, y'all are out of the mix for the national championship.
This was a good political move, I would think. President Donald Trump on Monday joined the U.S. Senator and a number of coaches calling to save college football this season from the pandemic. Of course, is trying to force a shutdown, and supporters push the premises that the players are safer because of their sport. So, again, what do you think, Mike? What do you feel like?
Saban came out yesterday. I was reading an article just about him, and he said Alabama coach Nick Saban told ESPN on Monday that the return of other students to campus would pose a challenge. I get that, but we really don't know what that entails until it happens, Saban said. It's a big reason we pushed back the season in the SEC to assist that, which is prudent way to do it. So it's going to be interesting to see. He's right. All these campuses are going to be open back up, and there's going to be so many more people around these athletes. You can't tell an 18 and a 22-year-old not to go walk down the street and see their girlfriend.
Yeah. Of course, we were looking at Goshen and their schedule. They'll lose Hopeville, which is a good program, and they'll lose Arrington, which is also a big rival and a good program, on August the 21st and 28, and a mid-season game at Luverne. So that they were going to play 10 games, Mike, and they'll lose Luverne and Arrington and Hopeful. Those are three good chances to get beat too. Those are three real good programs.
Yeah, that's one of those weird things about high school football. We always say it all the time. We don't know that first game. Does it count or is it a jamboree? That's happened for years and years. But you have to find out later which games counted and which games didn't.
But no question, though, most schools play a 10-game schedule, and those are the three games that Goshen will miss will be the Hopeful game, the Ironton game, and the Luverne game. So that works out. So Goshen's going to start. Two of those games were scheduled for August the 21st and August the 28th. So those are gone, which is not bad. And then on September 25th at Luverne, that'll just be an open date.
Yeah, my biggest concern was, if you play 7 games, I mean, somebody's going to have to go play on the road 4 games, and somebody's only going to get 3 home games.
That's right. That could happen. You're exactly right. That could happen. In fact, I can tell you.
That'd be really tough for a high school program. I worked in high school, the business side of things, and sporting goods business, and worked with Nike and Adidas, and boy, some of these poor high schools, they have to have that gate money to even pay for their equipment and uniforms and helmets and everything else.
All right, let's look at it here. Of course, Goshen.
That would be extremely tough. You're saying they're only going to allow 50% at the gate?
Yeah, that's right, and allow only 50% of the gate. Let's see. I don't see how they.
This when you need a former booster or
to buy a bunch of tickets.
Somebody to come in and help out with money this year, I would think.
That's right, or buy a bunch of tickets and go out and designate the places where they stand or sit. Of course. All right, they play at Goshen plays at Trinity on September the 4th. September the 11th, the first play at Childersburg, which is a pretty good drive. Then they come back and play at home against Reeltown. Then they have an open date on the 25th, and then they play at Dadeville. Then they have a home game against Pike County, a home game against Catholic. So that is 1, 2, 3. You're right. Goshen only gets 3 home games. Pike County, they play at Beulah. Then they play at home to Dadeville. On the road at Trinity. They play home to Montgomery Catholic. They play on the road at Goshen, play at Childersburg, and then they play at Reeltown. Did you know? Now, hear this.
No, they would have to at least get 3 home games.
That's what I'm saying. They just get 3 home games. And so they got 4 on the road. Let's do that again. All right, Dadeville at home.
Well, I guess if one of the games is at Goshen, that's not
Montgomery Catholic at home, and okay, all right, and Reeltown. So both of them actually play 3 home games, Mike, then play 4 on the road.
Yeah, losing that jamboree against Charles Henderson will definitely hurt at the gate.
Oh, yeah, that was a big game. They were going to play that game at Pike County, too. That would have been a big money game for them, no question.
Yeah, I wonder, I don't know if you talked to Steve and talked to any of the the crews that we're going to be calling games. I wonder if they'll be able to even call games on Troy Cable this year.
I don't know.
This is when you need crews and cameras at games more than ever because there's not going to be anybody able to go.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you should be able to find a ton of sponsors for calling football games this year because more people are going to be watching those games than ever.
Yeah, no question about it. And
I mean, that's an interesting thing to hear. It makes me wonder if other counties are going to move in that direction. That's actually the first I've heard about that, though. So I'll have to look and see throughout the rest of this week if other areas decide to do
Well,
that.
I don't know if they flipped a coin on these non-region games, or they originally scheduled games anyway. And what they're doing, they're just canceling the games on August the 28th, and and most all of them are on the 28th and the 21st.
I tell you what you don't hear anything about during this time is you've heard no articles and read nothing really about private schools. It seems like private schools are good to go. As far as their season goes, you definitely haven't heard anything out of Plant Liberal Arts.
In fact, I don't even have a opening date for school.
I want to say Plant Liberal Arts plays next Friday, don't they?
I don't know. I don't know that. I need to be able to make a phone call and find out. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Have you seen an increase in your insurance premiums or significant change in your insurance coverage? Let Sandbeck Insurance offer you a better plan to suit your business or personal needs. Sandbeck Insurance offers many lines of insurance, whether it's home, farm, or auto insurance, work comp, business, or health and life policies. Sandbeck is here for you. Call or visit our Troy, Enterprise, or Andalusia office today. Sandbeck Insurance, where we take pride in taking care of your insurance needs.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
Here at Bill Jackson Chevrolet in Troy, we've been doing business the right way for 31 years. But don't take our word for it. We feel our customers express it the best.
Been honest in everything we've discussed with them.
When they say Jackson Satisfaction, they really mean it.
The Jackson Satisfaction.
You're still on, is that right?
Yeah, you don't see me on the screen?
Yes, Back to our show, brought to you by Health Actions, and looking for a place where you can get the best rehab in town. Health Actions located right here on Highway 231 South, right there. And of course, I've used them. They're very professional. They really do a great job. And your insurance pays for most of it, your rehab. But a lot of people don't realize that insurance cover your rehab, especially after surgeries and so forth. So drop by and see them. They do a super job with rehab, and we appreciate them being a part of our show. Also, Southeastern Alabama Gas District, located in Andalusia. Greg and all the great folks there. They have numerous locations all over Central and South Alabama. Cook with gas, heat with gas, and cool with gas. Wonderful, wonderful.
I just bought a new gas grill, and I told my wife all the time, I was like, I don't know how anybody doesn't grill with a gas grill. It's just so simple and so easy.
Well, and the thing is, I can be eating a steak in 15 minutes. I mean, I was
eating a steak last night in 10.
Well, exactly. You stick your baked potato in the microwave, and it's about 7 minutes, and then you've already got your grill going because it's a gas grill, and you grill. It's just how many different times you turn it will be how many times it takes you to have a great steak meal. And of course, during the fall months and the winter months, I love my gas my gas fireplace, and really enjoy that. And all you got to do is pick up the phone and call the gas company. They'll come out and put your gas logs in for you. They do a great job, and we appreciate it. We appreciate all of our sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. That's what keeps us going. And sometimes I know we don't seem to be as organized as everybody else sometimes is. But I will tell you this: we've never not admitted that we are a laid-back television network right here in Troy, Alabama. And, of course, we're on Facebook, and you could be seen in Seattle, Washington, Portland, Oregon, San Antonio, Texas, New York, wherever you live today. You can watch this show live on TC2. That is on Facebook, and then go to TC2, Troy Cable Channel 2, and you can watch this show, or you can call and have friends around the country call in and watch our show, and we appreciate them very much. Of course, Tony with Pike Tree Service, boy, you talk about a busy guy. He has really been busy. And I noticed on driving down M Street, there's a big tree down right in front of the sorority houses, and those little girls had to run around that tree. I don't know why they didn't remove that damn tree. Not damn tree, but down tree.
That's on the Troy University physical plan, isn't it?
Yeah, I know it.
Don't they have crews that can come do that?
Yeah, you would have thought they would have. I bet you the chat.
Remember one time we had a fit. I remember when I was maybe living in Troy, and they had bid day.
That's
and
right.
All the girls were running through all this high grass.
Oh yeah, didn't even mow the grass.
They didn't even cut the grass. It looked awful.
I'll tell you this: if I know my chancellor, and he is a great one, Jack Hawkins Jr., if he knew that tree was down and they had all week to cut it up and get it out of the way, he would have made sure that would happen, because, and Miss Hawkins the same way, they would have never tolerated that. But those little girls, those girls were able to reach their sorority house, and Mike, it was one of the largest sorority rushes that they've had in quite some time. Well over 300 girls went out for rush, and that's a good omen. And it looks like
they call it Squill Day, Bid Day.
Squill Day.
I just remember.
Or Bid Day, yeah.
I used to go to the rush every once in a while at Troy, but boy, when you used to go to Alabama and you go to Tuscaloosa, and you get in the middle of that Bid Day sorority, all the girls, the freshmen, running to their houses, and oh my goodness, as a kid growing up, seeing all those beautiful girls was one of the craziest things ever. I turned to my buddy, I was like, my goodness, I know why you go to the University of Alabama.
Well, I tell you what, I know why they go to Troy University. There's beautiful girls here too, and no question about it.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying at the time there was just Troy was 4,000 students, Alabama was 20,000 students, so you can only imagine how much bigger it was up there.
You know, shutting down football like this, of course, and now trying to delegate who can go to the game and who can't go. What are you going to do with your football concessions? You know what? They got to pre-package it. They'll have to wrap.
Every Coke would be in a bottle. Every Diet Coke would be in a bottle. You'd basically be bottling. You'd be selling bottles, plastic water bottles.
And Goshen's one of the.
That's the way you would do it. Everything. Your peanuts would be packaged.
That's right.
You wouldn't be able to really do hot dogs. You'd be a very limited, watered down. I mean, you'd probably still be able to do your candy.
Pike County,
you'd probably be able to get your Snicker bar.
Yeah, and I tell you this, Goshen High School's got the best concession stand around, and now they will. They say here will be no hot dogs or hamburgers being grilled near the stands. So I don't know how they're going to probably have to pre-cook everything and wrap it up.
Yeah, and, exactly. You would have to basically have your condiments.
And that is a source of revenue. That's the source of revenue right there. And I tell you, it's always really good. In Pike County, it's the same way. And, I'm not going to call coaches right now until they get real situated with this. But it makes sense. All of this makes sense. And I think they'll have a good football season starting on September the 4th. Give them more time to get ready, and
I mean, high school's totally different. These kids are having to have their parents' permission to play, and basically, I hadn't heard of too many parents keeping their kids out. I guess maybe the coaches could probably tell you more than what you hear, but I mean, just like we said a number of times, the numbers when it comes to young people, when it comes to COVID-19, I mean, is so low as far as cases throughout the world. I mean, you hear of young people that have had it, and there's been young people that have, unfortunately passed away, but there's usually an existing health condition in those cases.
Yeah.
But, man, I tell you what, if I had a kid, I would let him play.
Yeah. No question.
I have two girls, but I'm just saying if I had a son I was wanting to play football, I would definitely let him play if he wanted to.
Yeah. And of course, it's a man's sport now. I'm gonna tell you what, it's not for the.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go down there and get your bell rung and have a horrible headache like I used to when I played, even before basically when practice started, we would have lineman drills that we were hitting each other head to head. The rest of the day was kind of a blur. It seemed like.
That's
and
right.
Then you throw in 98 degrees. In Troy, Alabama, you got to really want it.
That meant you had a concussion if you were dizzy and didn't know where you were. I've had a few of those.
I'm just saying that 6-point explosion drill we did as offensive linemen. You woke up pretty quick. That was the first drill you did.
You know what? I told the coach one time though. I said, "Don't ever let me see you run that drill again," and he never did. Where they sit down, they got up on their knees, and the other guy. That was the worst. That was the worst drill. It's almost like a suicide drill. I mean, that was a crazy drill.
Yeah, that's the drill we did. We were human dummies.
I said, you know what I told the coach? I said, Coach, would you like to be on the other end of that? And I think he thought a little bit.
I never thought about that. Fountain probably ran that same drill because he played for Justin.
That's what I'm saying. He ran that drill, and I told him, I said, you're going to end up getting somebody hurt real bad, and you're going to be liable for it. And sure enough, he never ran it again. It just wasn't and it wasn't a football drill. It was a suicide drill, a gut drill.
It was based on technique as far as you coming off the ball. But, the thing was is you were on your knees, and basically that guy was going to hit you in the head. And
you were going to go backwards.
Backwards and bend your back, yeah.
That's right, no question about it.
Yeah, I did a lot of drills with Brian Thomas, who's a friend of mine I grew up with my whole life in Troy, and he ended up getting a full scholarship at Georgia Tech. But we called him Tiny, and I played baseball with him my whole life, played football with him, you coached him on the red team. And this guy was 6'4", 295 pounds. So I'm on my knees every day at practice playing offensive line. And this guy is going to come off the ball as fast as he can and hits me right in the head.
And you don't have any way to meet it.
You don't have a dummy to hold up or anything like that.
And what I'm saying,
he wanted that contact with that helmet. The way it worked. But that was one of the crazy drills. And then of course the legendary door drill at Charles Henderson High School that Ralph Sanders brought.
The late Ralph Sanders. We lost Ralph Sanders not too long ago.
Where somebody would run the ball and somebody would be back. You'd basically be straight on with the door. So you would either be running the ball to the left or the right if you're the runner. And then, if you're the tackler, you're basically just waiting to see which side of the door he comes out. You talking about a collision there. Ooh.
Well, let me ask this now. If you don't know what's going to happen, right now they've had these players on campus for almost a month. They're feeding them. They're also giving them a place to sleep. It's costing this program money to have these kids on campus and continue to be on practicing right now full speed. And in the back of their minds, I'm doing this, but one president or one athletic director is going to try to shut the whole thing down. There's some people not wanting to play.
When you're in Troy's situation, I would imagine they could play a spring if they had to, because you got more guys that are playing really kind of just for the love of the game. I mean, they're great athletes. Don't get me wrong, but Troy. I'd say in the last 5 years, I can't remember even a guy getting drafted, even though with all those great Neil Brown teams. They've had some free agents. So you got some chances for some guys to possibly get in the late rounds and, definitely have a chance to be a free agent. But, when it's all said and done, they could play in the spring, but some of these Power 5 schools, man, there's so many great players that won't play. Alabama's roster will look just totally different if it got moved to the spring. I mean, you're talking about having a chance to win a national championship. Probably Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State are the three teams, in my opinion. But, I mean, Alabama would lose 10 guys if they played spring football.
Exactly right. And it's not going to affect them. They will move their season back to September. I want to say the 27th.
September the 26th. That's what I'm saying. Why are they jumping the gun so much now? It's only the 11th of August.
I know it. They got plenty of time left. And
that's why I've never have understood all this. It's like the panic. I mean, I guess the logistics. I mean, you'd have to ask Brent Jones or Johnny Williams, athletic directors, and a former athletic director, as far as how much time they would need to actually put on a sporting event.
Let me tell you the rumor. I'm going to go ahead and shoot it out there to you. The rumor, Mike, is that Troy's talking to BYU about coming to Troy. Have you heard that?
I hadn't heard that, but I could see Troy going to BYU.
Look, let's look at their schedule. I could see Troy going to BYU
because that would be a big money game.
Yeah, but what they'll do, they'll set up probably a 1-2-1 where you come to my place and then we'll come to your place twice, something like that. But they're
Troy's trying to find somebody to replace, I guess, NC State.
And I was told, now, see if I'm wrong. I haven't personally seen it, but I was told yesterday.
Troy still has not released Middle Tennessee onto their schedule. And the Middle Tennessee athletic director came out on AL.com and they had a huge article, and ESPN picked it up. There was going to be a home and home with Middle Tennessee State.
All right. Somebody told
that still has not been officially established.
Yeah, somebody told me that we're not going to be playing UMass. Have you heard that?
Oh, I mean, I thought that was the case the whole time.
Have you heard that UMass was not going to play Troy?
Well, I just thought UMass would have to cancel their season like UConn did and some of those other.
Yeah.
You know who else canceled yesterday? And it doesn't factor into Troy because they're in Conference USA, but it's the first team out of Conference USA that's not going to play in the fall is Old Dominion.
Old Dominion. Of course, their program hadn't been around very long anyway. I want to remind you to wear your mask wherever you go. And, of course, this is a mask that my sister-in-law made up for me. And, hey, look at it. See, it's stylish, isn't it? Look how stylish, Mike. You can't see it, though, can you? You see it?
Yeah, I see it.
And, of course, he's sitting on the beach. How does the beach look today?
I haven't been down today, but, man, it's been gorgeous. We were over at the beach this weekend, and it's just crystal clear, beautiful water. Man, I tell you what, we ran into so many different, families and people down here still on vacation, and they're like, oh, our kids couldn't start school on time, so we're just going to stay an extra week.
Are they wearing the mask, Mike?
I mean, I'll be honest. You have to wear masks when you go to grocery stores and go inside a different place. Well, you don't have to. Well, you have to at Publix and I think Walmart and Target and some of those places. But, I mean, not many people are wearing masks at restaurants.
Yeah. Now, one thing that you will get back at the drawdown or Troy University football night this weekend, they're going to give you a face mask with Troy on it. And that's going to be a nice gift. And now you paid $125 for it, but it's still a nice gift. But it's a great way to support Troy University is to buy a ticket on this drawdown, and it's going to be usually all the shrimp and you can eat, and the beverage. It's just going to be really a lot of good food and a lot of good fun. And they will have everybody distance apart. So the tables will be, 6 to 9 feet apart. So it's going to be if it doesn't rain, it's going to be a good setting. And of course, I'm sure they'll probably have some fans out there and some, to make it a little bit cooler. And we look forward to that. I would love to hear.
I was looking at Pint Liberal Arts schedule, and this is on Max Preps. I would think it says the 2020 schedule. It says they opened the season right down the street from me against Freeport on August the 21st.
Yeah, okay, August 21st.
So they'll come play a Florida public school.
Yeah.
I don't know what the relationship is, but they played Freeport the last 2 years.
Yeah, they beat them 1 year, and I don't know how they came out last year.
So Freeport is right down the road. If anybody's wondering, I live in Grayton, so you go past 38, you go 98, and when you turn on 98, you get on 331, and that takes you right to Freeport, right over the bridge.
That's right there at the bridge. And of course, that's at Fort Walton Destin area. Isn't that right?
Of course, the legendary Troy basketball coach David Felix is the head basketball coach at Freeport High School.
Yeah, exactly. Of course.
But after that, they've got a great game against Crenshaw Christian Academy at Pine Level Arts. That means Wayne Grant will be coming to town.
Yeah. So they're going to play.
After that, on the 4th, they have Hooper Academy. On the 11th of September, they have Lee Scott Academy. On the 18th, they have Edgewood Academy. On the 25th, they have Chambers. They're at Chambers Academy. On the 2nd, they're at Tuscaloosa Academy. At the 16th, they're at Valiant Cross Academy.
I know that's a new school called Valiant Cross. They've got a big time player on that team.
They're hosting Glenwood Academy, and then they're going to go see our buddy at Monroe Academy, the great Hugh Fountain, on October 30th.
Now he's not at Monroe. He's at Escambia.
I mean, not at Monroe. He's at Escambia. Sorry.
Are they playing Escambia or Monroe?
They play Monroe.
Okay. Boy,
that means Pike Live would start on the 21st of August, and they would be done by October 30th.
Yeah. Let me give you a little indication too of how far I don't know which ones play at home or not, but the Freeport game, would you say that would be about a 2.5 to 3 hour drive?
No. Freeport from Troy, Alabama is easily 2 hours. It's not.
Well, I mean, we're talking about by a school bus.
I make to the beach in 2 hours.
I know. We're talking about by school bus, not by rocket car like you got.
Well, I mean, you would take a school bus. I mean, yeah, it'd probably be over 2 hours.
I just want people to know how far these games are.
Freeport High School from where I live in Great Beach is probably 15 minutes.
All right, who are the other games, away games that Pike's got to go to? Freeport?
Well, Freeport would be the longest by far, I would think.
Yeah. All right, well, keep going.
After that, you're home against Crenshaw Christian Academy. Hooper's at home. Lee Scott's at home. Edgewood's at home. Chambers Academy would be a long drive, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's about a 2 hour drive. Yeah.
Well, actually, the longest would be Tuscaloosa Academy would be probably the longest.
Yeah, that's probably 2.5, 3 hours.
And then Valiant Cross Academy, where did you say that was?
I don't know. That is a new school. But I saw
actually Monroe Academy on the road would be a long drive.
That's a long drive. You know, that's one of the problems that you have to travel.
Five home games and 5 road games.
Yeah. And got a good football team coming up, too. In fact, the coach's son.
Apparently they've gotten 10 transfers in that are really good.
And the coach's son is quite a quarterback, everybody says, and is already committed to play baseball at Florida State. And then the Geist kid, Mike, the big kid from Charles Henderson, who is a Division I-A prospect, in my opinion.
Who in the world in private school is going to block him?
And let me ask this: I mean, it's almost like putting a big bull out there with a bunch of calves. You know what I'm saying? The big bull is going to run right over those smaller kids out there. And he weighs close to 300 pounds, and he's all football players. They ought to keep him away from practice. Wouldn't you say?
I mean, it's kind of like.
I mean, because how would you like for your son that weighs 145, 150 pounds?
Kind of would have been like taking Benny Myhan from Pike County High
School
and playing at Pike Liberal Arts.
That's right. And what we're saying, this kid weighs close to 300 pounds, and he's and probably benches 300 or more pounds and can run. And your son weighs 145 pounds. He's a defensive back, or 150 pounds, and he's got to make contact with this guy. So what I'm saying, this guy, Geist, is a man playing with a bunch of boys. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, we hadn't had Did you have Mario White on the show? I think maybe you did, didn't you?
No, I haven't had him on the show. I've interviewed him before, but I haven't had him on the show, and I'm going to try to get him.
We'll have to have him on the show.
Try to get him on soon. And of course, they've got a full-fledged schedule, so we're going to have football here in Troy. It looks like without any problem, and of course, Goshen and Pike County, they wait a little bit longer. In fact, you look at it. Pike, let's see now. Pike Liberal starts on what day, Mike?
21st is what it says.
All right, the 21st. And Charles Henderson plays on the.
Well, no, they don't play on the 21st now because that game got canceled.
That's what I'm saying. They play on.
But you would think they would play on the 28th.
Yeah, exactly. But that's awfully early to be starting to play football. But
I wonder how high schools work. I mean, I wonder like if you could get Coach Hall and you get Brad McCoy and they say, hey, can we like at least scrimmage against each other?
Yeah.
Would they even allow that?
Exactly. But they'll be ready. They've been practicing a long time, and I don't think so far Charles Henderson's schedule has not been affected at all. So football at the high school level looks pretty good. But right now, Mike,
what do you think about junior highs? I wonder if junior highs will even try.
They were practicing yesterday. They were practicing.
Junior highs were?
Yeah, they were out there practicing. So bless their hearts. I hope everything works out where they can play. But at the same time, I want everybody to be safe. But I would think they'd be more conscientious about this than most people, you know. And be kind, especially. I don't know how you can keep some. Maybe I'll tell you what you can do. Don't allow a lot of contact at practice. No need to.
You're hearing that in the pros as well. The pros, basically barely even hit anymore is what I was hearing a guy in an interview the other day.
Yeah. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we're concerned about the safety of these kids at the same time. Even the President of the United States, like I said, that sounds pretty political when it says here, President Donald Trump on Monday joined the U.S. Senator and a number of coaches calling to save college football season from the pandemic that's causing some of these programs to shut down their program. But the president wants to keep football, and a lot of football lovers out there. You think of how many millions and millions of people, Mike, want to see football, and here it is, our president is supporting it,
Well, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you're going to have an NFL. NFL's going to play. And then you got Major League Baseball. They've cranked back up. I think the Braves have already played 18 games. They're 11-7.
Yeah.
You've got Goff. It's just been fantastic. I mean, Goff ain't missed a beat. I mean, I'm sure fans are missing going to tournaments, but I definitely miss watching it without fans. And then you got hockey already started back. NBA's been playing great in the bubble. They've had no positive cases.
Can you believe that they're trying to play football in the bubble? Have you heard that?
Well, I've heard that even Major League Baseball now, once teams make it to the playoffs, they've talked about a bubble, and I would imagine the NFL would try to do something similar as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Once teams make it to the playoffs. I don't know how you could do a college football bubble.
Yeah, I don't either.
I mean, I guess you could be all right if they let the players do online classes where they didn't have to be out and about, with students. If they, still force them just to be on the computer and would let them go to classes, I don't know.
No question about it. We're going to take it.
It's a crazy situation. I mean, I hope this time next year that we'll go back and we'll think back to what we've talked about and all this will just, be a memory. But who knows?
And Mike, remember, Troy University starts classes tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
That's going to be really interesting.
I saw those sorority pictures, and all the pictures, they were wearing masks.
I know.
And they were like running in masks. And man, that's going to be something you'll definitely show your kids one day about this crazy time in life. I told my wife, we bought our kids masks, and I think they've only worn them like one time. we really don't take them out in public anywhere. We always just go do everything. And we took them to a restaurant one day, and I think they had them on. And man, I don't want to remember this time, to be honest with you. I don't want to remember like having to wear masks and see pictures of people in masks.
Yeah, no question about it. Of course, it's exciting times, generally with school starting and, football season just around the corner. And looks like high schools, and I'm sure what's going to happen, my good friend Dr. Mark Brazil has started. I bet you will turn out maybe to be copied by a lot of other schools. What do you think? Do you think
Well,
this is
as a superintendent, you're a person that's, got to balance a budget, and you got to work with all these schools, and financially, it probably makes sense as well to lessen your travel and the amount of games you play.
Yeah.
So that might be another one of the reasons he's doing it.
The biggest part of all this, is logistics.
Yeah.
How are they going to do it with 50% of the fans out there, and who's going to have top priority for tickets? And I think they need to leave that part alone. I think they need to just go ahead and then have people in the stands or on both sides, making sure that they're if they have to take a stick and make them and pry them to be within 6 feet of each other. If they do that, I don't see what danger we've got. But going to school is going to have a lot to do with it, how they do when they start school, and hopefully these viruses won't jump up and bite us.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be interesting. Today seems like the day as far as Big Ten making a decision. Pac-12 is going to probably make a decision today. I mean, like I said, I think the ACC, the SEC, and the Big 12 are holding strong and going to see what happens. So, man, this is the strangest situation ever. I mean, you're basically not going to play until the 26th of September, and all these decisions seem like they're coming down way too early, in my opinion. I thought that maybe these decisions would happen maybe next week when SEC starts practicing again. They start practicing on the 17th, I believe.
Mike, a big question mark here is Troy going to play UMass? I heard yesterday that they weren't going to play UMass, but
UMass was on the schedule yesterday when I went to TroyTrojans.com, so it hadn't been taken down.
I think they're still on it, and let me tell you what's good about it. Nobody wants.
But Troy's got to do something about their schedule. Who's ever their sports information guy is, he still has NC State listed as a game as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and they're definitely not playing.
That's officially done.
I know it, and let's just say this. UMass is a long ways to go. It's going to cost a lot of money to get there, and it's on the western part of Massachusetts. It's not on the scenic part around Boston and all the historic parts.
Yeah, but, it's in Amherst.
Yeah, Amherst, wherever that's located. But what it is good, it'll give Troy a Division 1A win, or at least they should win that game. This was the 127th ranked team in the country coming in. So the Troy better beat them, don't you agree?
Yeah, I mean.
But it does give you a 1AA win, and those W's while we're trying to reach.
Chip Lindsey's coming off 5-7 after 3 straight, seasons of 10 wins or more. I mean, that's a lot of pressure if he starts the season and
I'm on
travel all the way up to UMass and get beat. I would not want to be Chip Lindsey and his staff if that happened.
All right, let me just say this, Mike, that you can also see. You're trying to save these bowl games. I could see a losing team going to a bowl game this year because.
Well, they've already talked about that because you're going to have teams that are going to play 10 games. So some schools are going to go 5-5, and
that's right.
Some might go 4-6, and you got to fill so many bowl spots.
Yeah.
And then the MAC alone had 5 or 6 bowl tie-ins.
Yeah, I know it.
And then Mountain West. I mean, you're talking about Colorado State. You're talking about Fresno State. You're talking about Air Force, talking about Boise State. I mean, you're talking about.
Man, can you see them getting by with this at Boise? Those Boise people be going crazy not having football.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you got all that conference is canceled too. So I mean, you got all those teams.
But I guarantee you watch. They're going to come up with some way to play.
There's going to be a lot of teams that are going to play independent.
Yeah,
is what's going to happen.
And BYU will be one of those. Boise will be one of those.
Well, BYU's already an independent. Boise and all those other are in conferences.
Let's look at.
You want to hear the Mountain West teams?
Yeah.
So this is the teams out of the Mountain West, and they've canceled until the spring. That's what they said.
Spring. Go ahead.
So, let me pull it up real quick. Sorry. So the Mountain West Conference is Utah, New Mexico,
Oh boy.
San Diego State, Hawaii, Fresno State, San Jose State, Utah State. So
You know, and you know,
that's some pretty good teams.
yeah, they are, and but
most importantly, Boise State.
yeah, and Utah too. Utah is huge.
Utah's in the Pac-12. Utah State.
Oh,
is in,
okay, yeah.
Mountain
Excuse
West.
me, I'm sorry, Utah State. But looking at BYU's schedule, you know, it's so on November 21st they host North Alabama, and let's see, San Diego State's not playing, Boise's not playing, Northern Illinois, I don't know, I reckon they're still playing. No, they're not playing.
They're in the MAC.
All right, Houston's playing, Missouri's playing, Utah State's not playing, Minnesota, Arizona State, Michigan State, and Utah. All right, look how many games that they're out there that they've got to schedule. You know, there's something like 4 or 5 games that BYU's got to be able to pick up to be able to at least have 10 games.
Yeah, BYU's definitely on hold right now because, I mean, they're basically just trying to see how many of these teams are going to go play independent. So they're basically going to probably fill their schedule with all these other teams that decide to play regardless.
All right, I've got them.
Also UNLV's in the UNLV in Wyoming. I left them out. They're actually in the Mountain West as well.
All right, I've got them playing 6 legitimate games, and now they got 6 more. So BYU's got to play somebody. I think BYU's a good one to talk to here. You know that.
Yeah, but does Troy really need it though now? Because you're going to play 8 conference games, and then you're going to play 10. I mean, you'd play 2 Middle Tennessee State home and home, so that's 10. And then I would say play 2 1AA schools because those wins count as just like a Division I win this year.
And one of those
count towards your bowl.
One of those is not too far away. Is at Mercer. Mercer
would be in the mix. Florida A&M would be in the mix. And I would look for those two.
Florida A&M, I thought they weren't going to play, Mike.
Now, Brent Jones on the show that day said that they were going to play as an independent.
Okay, I got you. And ladies and gentlemen, we're jumping around here quite a bit.
It's so crazy. I mean, basically, we're talking about all this stuff, and football totally could be canceled later this week. It's one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
Exactly right. And of course, hopefully, the folks in the Sun Belt would say, "Hey, let's play regardless."
This is the time where a conference commissioner could really make his mark and make his stamp on a league. And I tell you what, any kind of college football in the fall would be interesting to watch. I would imagine there'd be a lot of people still wanting to see it, especially out in Vegas.
I tell you what, that great quarterback at Louisiana, Lafayette, Levi Lewis, he is the real deal. And the other great quarterback in that league is a young man named Zach Thomas. So Appalachian and Louisiana both have 2 real good teams coming back.
Yeah, what a steal that was to come into the state of Alabama. Appalachian State got Thomas out of Hewitt-Trussville.
That's right.
He started ever since he was a freshman at Appalachian State.
Had a kid out of Montgomery Academy last year too that was really good.
Yeah, the crazy thing is Thomas's mom works for Andrews and Dugas.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Oh, baby. Well, I'll tell you something else.
Dugas is Troy's doctor.
Yeah. And Mike, the transfer from Alabama, who was so good against Troy last year, he's not even the starting quarterback. Logan Bonner is the starting quarterback for Arkansas State, and that's Lane Hatcher, the former walk-on. He threw for 2,946 yards, and Bonner threw for 1,052 yards, but he was injured. But they think they've got the best 2 quarterbacks in the country.
I would imagine Hatcher probably will win that job after what he did as a freshman.
Yeah.
He's on scholarship, too. I mean, he just was in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Transferred out of Alabama to Arkansas State.
It all remains to be seen.
Three for 450 yards against Troy in his first start.
I know it. It was really outstanding. Troy came close to winning in a lot of games. I just hope that they can turn that around.
That's the famous game where Troy ran out of time.
Yeah.
They had the ball at the 6-yard line, and offensive lineman gets a penalty, and Troy had no timeouts, and there was an automatic 10-second runoff.
Yeah.
And Troy didn't even get a chance to throw the ball in the end zone. Do you believe that?
Yeah, I know. I remember that well.
That was a heartbreaking loss. Southern Miss was a heartbreaking loss. I mean, Chip Lindsey had some tough ones his first year. Nothing will ever be as bad as Coastal Carolina, though, having the game won and a 4th down call.
Yeah.
Basically, gives Coastal Carolina a chance to score, and the rest is history.
Yeah. Be a great opportunity to meet and greet all the Troy coaches. They'll be there this weekend for the Troy University football night. Starts at 6 o'clock from Veterans Memorial Stadium right here in Troy.
So will you try to attend that?
What now?
Are you going to go to that?
No, I'm not. I'm going to be down there for my granddaughter's birthday.
Well, no, I just didn't know if you felt comfortable going around a big crowd of people like that.
Well, I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to see how people do react to this, and it's just part of it. Gosh, I'll tell you this: there's been some grocery stores and some other places that I was more concerned about the heavy volume. Now you only have at Walmart you have only one way in and one way out. And that concerns me, but of course.
I mean, down here, there's no mandatory mask like Alabama. Y'all have it a lot tougher as far as you have to wear masks.
Yeah, you do in certain places like Lowe's and Walmart and people like that. They require that, no question about it.
I thought
Troy,
like if you're any building you went into in Alabama, you had to wear a mask.
Yeah. Troy life is out, and this lovely, lovely girl I've known since she was a little baby. Her name is Conley Gilmore, and she's a former Troy University cheerleader, and wonderful young lady is on the face of Troy life. And of course, the Messenger does a super job with this magazine, and we're so proud of it. But again, we're proud of Conley. And a great article in here about her and what she's doing with herself now right here in Troy. Of course, we appreciate you so much. I know we jumped around quite a bit, but to me, those topics in high school with the superintendent, Brazil is calling a shot here that might be copied by a lot of schools all over the state, because it makes them start playing later on in the year, and plus not quite as many games, but each game that they play counts toward possibility of going to the playoffs. So it's a positive thing.
The only thing I would look at it as a player, I'd be like, man, 2 more weeks of practice before we even play.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And again,
that would be not fun to. And one thing you risk starting later too is, I guess, they can always cancel it before you even play.
And there's other sports that are involved too, especially volleyball and soccer. This time of year,
volleyball, anything inside right now would worry me more than outside.
Right. No question about it. And we hope you've enjoyed our show today, brought to you by some great sponsors, Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass. I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, nobody will beat a Premier deal. Nobody at all. And, of course, we appreciate them so very much. Also, our friends at Bird Drugs on the corner of downtown Troy. And remember, every Wednesday, Sister's going to be serving spaghetti. And Sister's moving along right now, serving food to all of Pike County. And everybody that passes by there makes a direct turn to the right or to the left to go to Sister to eat lunch. It's a great place.
They need to get the highway department to put their own turn lane. That'd be good for them.
Yeah, no question about it. Mike Amos, we always appreciate you. You really add a lot to the program, and something's going to be. We should know something before the end of this week what they're going to do with college football. Now,
I mean, I mean, when it's all said and done, there's going to be football. It might not be college, but there'll be NFL.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this. And nobody loves it more than I do. I've already bought my tickets and everything like that. But what I'm concerned about is having college football, regardless of whether there are any fans in the stands. I could understand them having the marching band sitting in the stands, not going on the field, but sitting in the stands to provide a great atmosphere, and then let them play football, and we'll watch it on TV or on giant screens, whatever. But let's play football. That's the key. Don't shut it down. Let's play football. I hope you've enjoyed today's show, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Max Howell will be calling in tomorrow, and we'll find out more of what's going on in high school and college football right here on this show. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.
We've been doing business the right way for 31 years, and now we've approached a year at the all-new Bill Jackson Ford. But don't take our word for it. We feel our customers express it the best.
I would recommend Bill Jackson to friends and family.
Environment was just friendly.